Hi there, Doug from BrainGrid. In today's video, we're going to talk about which AI coding agent is best for you. Is it Claude Code or is it Cursor? And just like a lot of things, the answer ends up being it depends. You know, some people really like Coke, some people really like Pepsi, some people like both. And then there are people like me, I'm a root beer guy. How do you decide whether you want to build your new software project? What agents do you want to use? Do you want to use Cursor or do you want to use Claude Code? And in this video, we're going to walk through sort of the differences and help you understand those differences so you can see which one best fits with your workflow. And so we can kick it off with Cursor. And when you're in Cursor, there's a couple different ways that you can use Cursor to code. Cursor is an IDE. It's a development environment. And so as you start typing, Cursor will actually work with you and try to autofill what you're doing. So here I'm adding tabs to the survey system. And so if I hit comma here, it knows I want to add a new tab. And it's like, oh, maybe you want to add a follow-ups tab. But I don't. I want to add an analytics tab. So I can do ID. Oh, it's like, oh, yeah, you want analytics. And then it says, okay, we can give it a label. And so you see it's auto-completing based on what I asked for. Let me just finish that up here. We can hit tab and it auto completes in my code for me. So if you're really familiar with coding and you like that idea of auto completing what you're writing, Cursor is probably a great tool for you because the autocomplete just helps speed up as you're building. It can just write lines and lines of code for you very, very quickly. It also has an Agentic feature up here in the left where you can start typing. So if it's a larger feature or you want to fix a bug, you can start working through that with an agent. So you can type in a prompt and it'll start editing your code for you. Some of the features that are in here is it will automatically pick the model for you. So this is really great for most tasks. If you're doing something really light, it might pick a Cursor will analyze the task you're asking for and give you a smaller model, so you use fewer tokens. You can also turn that off and pick the model that you want. I'll put auto back on. You can also say what kind of work you're doing, just to give a little more context to Cursor as you're writing. Really powerful. We've got other videos using Cursor to actually write code. Cursor starts off at $20 a month with the Pro plan, and that's generally good for most people starting off coding. You can set, if you hit that $20 a month, you can pay as you go for future tokens. It's at the API rate. You just go into your settings and say, hey, we can max out at $100 a month or whatever your max billing is, but you can't go over the allotted tokens from the $20. There are Pro plans that start off at $100 a month and go up to $200 a month that just give you more default tokens. So if you find that your overage are hitting about $100 a month, maybe you would want to go to the Max Plus or one of the other plans that Cursor has. Now, Claude, you may be familiar with from using the website, right? So you can actually type in here and I pick your model. And you can use code. You can say this is what you're trying to do with your coding. Probably this is a great way to start talking about things, but where Claude really becomes powerful is when you have it in the terminal connected to a project that you're already working on. So here I am in VS Code. This is the GitHub for the BrainGrid website. And you can see I've just written a blog post about Claude Code versus Cursor. So the way you work with Claude here is I'm in the terminal down here in the bottom window here, and I can just type Claude. And here we go. Now I can start typing to Claude. Claude knows the context because it knows it's inside a GitHub repository. So I can start doing things and asking it to write code. There are a bunch of shortcut commands that you can use. For example, /agents can tell you what sort of agents are available to work with. /usage shows you how much you've used. So, I've had a little bit of a session going on. I haven't done a lot. My week, I haven't even used a percentage yet. And there's shortcuts that you can use inside here. You can see that inside our website, we have a bunch of Claude tools that we've built to help us generate content. So if we wanted to generate an image for this blog post, we would do this, and then based on the prompts in our .claude, we've created a blog image that walks through the way we would like an image rendered, right? With the colors that we like. Is a detailed additional prompt that gives context to Claude on how to create the images for our blog posts. So you can see here I have checked out a new branch of the code called Doug Video, and we're just going to add a feature here using Claude. And as Claude starts thinking, it's looking at the home page, and you can see here that it's adding a component called the scrolling banner. And of course, the text says Doug is awesome. So if I accepted this, you can see it said, do you want to accept this? And I said, of course, yes, we want to add that to the website. And so now that's there. And clearly with just a few prompts, I have vastly improved the BrainGrid website. Don't expect this one to ever go to production, but it was fun to build. Claude Code is awesome. It also starts at $20 a month. When you work with Claude, you get 5-hour sessions, and if you use up all of the tokens for that session, you will get a message saying either wait or pay for that overage time, and you pay just at the token rate. You can set your maximum rate at the end of the month, but then that sort of allows your Claude usage to make its way through the entire month. You can see your usage with the command line, and you can see here I've used 23% and 3% of my weekly usage by playing around with adding Doug is awesome to the website. Now, both of these tools are great with prompts to building based on the English language text that you give the tool, but both of them can be greatly enhanced by using BrainGrid. And there's an MCP, a model context protocol, for both Claude Code and for Cursor. And what you do is with BrainGrid is you start writing requirements. And it's just like you would do in the LLM. You just start writing a requirement. Here's what I want you to do. And BrainGrid will ask you questions and come up with the requirements document. And then once you're happy with those requirements documents, it will create tasks. And these are the prompts that you can give to both Claude Code or Cursor to generate features. And so both of them are great at generating features from the prompts. Claude Code is sort of designed to do that by default. Cursor also does it very strongly, but Cursor also has that autocomplete feature for when you're actually coding. I think generally the way it breaks down is if you're really comfortable with coding and building, Cursor might be the right tool for you because it's a developer first, it's coding first. Whereas Claude is more prompt first. So if you're building features or specs, you can just type in those prompts and get those to run inside Claude Code. If you're building large features, I really recommend using a tool like BrainGrid to help you flesh out the requirements, flesh out the specifications, and write those prompts for you. As with all LLMs, the more detailed and the better your prompt is, the higher quality the code is that's going to come out on the other side. You know, just like that Coke Pepsi analogy, there's some people who don't care which one they're using. They're both $20 a month. So you could use Cursor for that autocomplete, and then maybe use Claude Code for that deeper analysis to build those features. Like a lot of these things, it comes down to what best fits the way that you work and the way you want to build the product that you're trying to build. There's no shining beacon that like this is the right tool for everybody. It's really going to depend on your workflow and how you work and what you want to build. But Claude Code and Cursor are amazing agentic AIs for writing code. And when you pair them with BrainGrid, you've got superpowers. So thanks for watching, and watch this channel for future videos on how agentic AI is changing the way we build software today.